And a happy Tuesday to you. Welcome on in to Lunch with Claibs and Joe. It's the Ameren, Illinois Lunch Show here on ClaibsOnline.com, powered by Gray Bar and driven by our friends at Munganass St. Louis Acura. I'm Joe Roderick, joined alongside by Mike Claiborne. And Claibs, our friends over there at Acura, actually hung out a bit on Saturday night with Clayton Patterson, the GM over there at Munganass Acura. I went to the TMA trivia night at St. Gabe's church and school, and Clayton was there and had a table, so had a chance to talk with him for a bit out there. Nice people out there at the Munganass show. I think we finished top 5 in the trivia too.
Who was on your team?
Listener Kevin Miller, he won a team, and then he invited me to join him, and along with my co-host Andy Hanselman. So we were there with some of his friends and family. And I'll tell you what, man, Doug Vaughn made the questions up for the Blues portion, the Blues round, and that one killed us. That was a really tough one on the Blues side of things. Jeremy Rutherford was at the table next to us.
What was the hardest question?
So there were, just a few. What Blues coach has the highest winning percentage of all time?
Good question. I would say Joel Quenneville, but
that's what we said.
But it's probably some guy who wasn't there as long.
It was Hitch.
They included both stints.
I guess they did. That's what they went with for that. Another one who there this one I'm interested to know if you know this. Who was the Blues' first captain?
Al Arbor.
That's right. We did not get that one right. I think we put Barkley down for that one.
No, Barkley came after Al.
Yeah. And then, so some of the other ones, who had the most points or who at Blues player averaged the most points per game in their career, their Blues career, most shorthanded goals, things like that.
For some reason, I can't hear you.
You did this last time. Somehow you turned this off last time, and now I can't hear you. So you have muted yourself, Claibs, and you turned yourself off as we sit here and talk.
Claibs, here we are.
You muted yourself again. Now you can hear me, right?
Yeah, everybody.
Okay, great. So, yeah, it was a even Jeremy Rutherford from the Athletic. He was at the table next to ours and caught up with him for a bit too. I think even he said some of the Blues ones he wasn't sure of the answers on some of those. And the man, has covered the Blues for probably half his life at this point.
Yeah, but you got to be around from day one like me.
Yeah,
those kind of questions, I just lick my chops and just because I know I'm going to get it right because most people in the room aren't that old.
Yeah. So overall, a good time out there. Good to see good to see Clayton out there. Iggy wanted me to tell you to say hello. He was out there in his big puffy coat already.
Was he participating in the Iggy should be pretty good at that.
The hosts were up there. They each read questions for rounds of it. So Iggy, I think, was in charge of the music trivia round for that. So I don't know what the other round was that Iggy was responsible for. But rare week where baseball doesn't really lead. And I don't know how much baseball we're going to talk on the show today because it really feels like college football. It's a kind of all eyes on that right now, with some of the things that have happened over the past week in coaching. But I think we do need to give Mizzou their props for coming back to Columbia and absolutely dominating Tennessee this past weekend, improving to 8-2 on the year.
They did a phenomenal job. As you mentioned, they dominated. And when you think about what UT had done to Missouri the last couple of years, you thought, here we go again. But Missouri never let UT breathe, and it just says a lot about how much this program has grown.
Lost you there for a second, Claibs. I think your microphone just cut out. And now you can't hear me talking either because your microphone is is muted. So, Claibs, you figure out your microphone situation there. And we will take a quick break and hear from our friends over at Gray Bar while you figure that out.
Let me get this straight. Gray Bar is a distributor?
Yep. For more than 150 years, we supported electrical and datacom projects all over the country.
So you can get me products wherever and whenever I need them?
Yep. thanks to our expansive national logistics network.
For any industry?
Yep, from construction sites and industrial plants to schools, hospitals, and just about everything in between.
So you could say Graybar is much more than a
you're
distributor.
Yep, you could say that.
They really do it all.
Yep.
I can't hear you.
When you need a hand powering, connecting, or maintaining your operations, join the thousands of professionals who rely on Graybar to help keep them up and running. Yep, Graybar does that.
I haven't touched anything.
Back here. Yeah, your mic just cut out. It got staticky and cut out there. So I think it's a mic issue. But as long as you can hear me now, we are good to go with that. But we were talking about the Mizzou game from this past weekend. They improved to 8-2. They have Florida in town now this weekend, and Mizzou's kind of getting that national attention when you look at the start times of some of these games. They got the 2:30 start time for the second week in a row this past Saturday against Tennessee, and now this weekend a rare night game. I can't remember the last time there was a night game in Columbia, Claibs.